right, welcome everyone. We're going to have a nice flowing practice today, working with the principles of alignment, Anusara principles, specifically open to grace and organic energy, and the idea of stepping into the flow of nature. So open to grace, in a sense, that's what it means. Open to grace meaning also open to nature. And in yoga, we're practicing aligning with nature and becoming more in tune with nature and finding that connection that we all have with nature. This time of year, it can be easier to find because it's just so joyful and beautiful. And some of the heart qualities that arise in many of us would be expansiveness. Just like nature, everything's beginning to expand and open. And that would be like organic energy and the alignment principles, as well as fluidity and thinking of water and ice melting and water flowing, and finding fluidity in our bodies can be really helpful to kind of work through all of the stagnancy that we may have built up over the winter. So we'll have a nice flowing practice and can start in a comfortable seat. Close your eyes or soften your gaze. Begin to notice the flow of your breath. The natural flow of your breath in and out of your nose. Notice the way that it feels and how simply bringing your attention to your breath begins to center you. Begins to align you with grace or consciousness, spirit, nature, whatever you may call it. Ground through your sit bones as if you could set roots down into the ground. And from the steadiness of your seat, rise up through your spine. Lift your heart as if you were a plant growing up toward the sky. Begin to deepen your breath now, inviting a long, even, and equal inhalation and exhalation. Tone the back of your throat so that you can hear your breath. The sound of ocean waves or a breeze. And as you breathe Ujjayi breath, feel your upper ribs expand with each breath, especially in your back body. With each exhalation, feel yourself draw toward your center a little more strongly. Ujjayi can be translated as victorious. Feel that uplifting energy that Ujjayi breath invites as you continue to breathe here. And in that uplifting energy, feel the energy of spring, the energy of growth and renewal and expansion. At the end of your next exhalation, draw your palms together at heart center. In this mudra, honoring consciousness, divine nature within us. We'll do 3 ohms together. Om being the sound of the universe or the sound of nature. So connecting to that sound. Inhale fully. Exhale completely. Inhale freely. your head to your heart. Release your hands. Lift your head and open your eyes. And come to all fours, please. And we'll start with some cat-cow circles. So moving in a circular movement with your breath. Exhale back, inhale forward. You can switch directions. You can play with arching your back and rounding your spine. Just do what feels good. Flowing in your hips and shoulders. If you haven't switched directions, switch directions. Then come to the center, to neutral. Point your toes. And we'll do spinal articulation. So as you exhale first, tilt your tailbone toward the ground. Then lift your low back, mid back, upper ribs, between your shoulder blades, and then finally relax your head down. Then inhale the other direction, lift your head, draw your shoulders on your back. Extend your spine, reach your thigh bones back and apart. So move at your own pace. As you exhale, start from your hips, tilt your tailbone down, round gradually up through the crown of your head. As you inhale, start with your head and shoulders, thoracic spine, lumbar spine, finally sacrum. So move slow and steady and fluid. And even imagine your spine like the waves of the ocean or a lake or river on a not so windy day. At the end of your next inhalation, come to neutral spine. Bring your right leg out to the side, like a kickstand, your left knee right under your left knee right under your left hip rather. And come down onto your elbows if that feels comfortable, or you can stay up on your hands. And slowly rock front to back, nice and gentle. Again, you can imagine yourself in water, moving with the fluid and smooth movement of the water. With your next inhalation now, inhale your right arm up. And as you exhale, bring your right hand back toward your left heel. Maybe even touch your heel, no need to, but in that direction. Inhale, open. Exhale, twist. One more time, inhale, open. Expand, reach up toward the sky. Exhale, twist, reach toward your foot, and then come back to center and switch. Bring your right knee under your right hip, left leg out to the side, and slowly rock front to back. Feel the fluidity of your hips. Let your breath be soft and full. Then come to center. Inhale your left arm up. Exhale, left arm through toward your right heel. Inhale, open and expand. Exhale. One more time. Inhale, reach long, push into your right hand, reach up through your left. Exhale. Inhale back to all fours. Then bring your right foot forward between your hands. Come into a low lunge. You can take blocks here if you'd like. We'll flow from half lunge, then low lunge to half Hanuman. So inhale forward, draw your heart forward, lengthen your spine. Exhale, push into both feet. As you come back any amount, you can keep your right leg a little bent. if you'd like, or straighten it. Inhale. Exhale, move with your own breath, slow and steady. You don't have to use blocks. Whatever feels best here in your body, but make sure that you have the space to create and sustain length in your spine. Good. The next time you inhale into a low lunge, switch sides. Left foot forward, left knee over ankle. Point your right foot. Inhale and lengthen your spine, draw your heart forward. Exhale, fold at your hips, keeping left knee slightly bent or straightening it. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Imagine that there was soil underneath your feet and push down into that soil as if you could make an imprint in the ground beneath you. With your left foot and heel, especially in the top of your right foot. Almost like you're working the soil with your movement. The next time you come forward, place your hands and step back to all fours. Bring your knees back behind your hips and turn your toes under. With your next exhalation, push down into the ground, lift your hips and come into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here to feel into your foundation. Set your roots through the balls of your feet, through the four corners of your hands, even through the pads of your fingertips. Expand and create space through your torso. Lift your back ribs, lift your side ribs, broaden your chest. Then from your heart, push down into the ground, set your roots deeper, and from your heart, lift up through your hips, and then extend down the backs of your legs. With your next inhalation, bring your right leg up toward the sky. And then draw slow circles with your knee. Draw your knee in toward you without shifting your upper body, and then bring it around in a wide circle. Draw it in, and then bring it around and up. One more time. Then switch sides. Place your right foot and lift your left leg high, first with a straight leg. Then bend your left knee. Draw your knee in toward your chest, and then come around in a wide circle. In and around, move with your own breath 3 times. Good, and then place your foot back on the ground. Walk your feet and hands toward one another, coming to the middle of your mat. Stand in Uttanasana, standing forward bend. Feel your feet connect to the earth. Feel your legs engage with muscular energy. Hug skin to muscle to bone. Draw your legs toward one another. Draw up from your feet to the core of your pelvis. Feel your low belly tone when you do that action of lifting, and then release your upper body organic energy. Extend from your hips down through the crown of your head. Lengthen through the backs of your legs. Bring your hands to your hips and inhale all the way up to standing. And stand in Tadasana. In Tadasana, first let's find organic energy, which is often described as inner body bright, outer body soft. So just like the potential of a seed, bright on the inside, ready to sprout. Expansive. Soften your outer body onto that expansive and bright inner body. Then we find muscular energy, hug skin to muscle to bone, like this, the outer shell of the seed, like the soil on top of the seed. Firm your muscles, hug to midline. Then organic energy from the core of your pelvis root down. First, a plant roots into the ground and then it rises. So first extend actively from your hips down through your feet, and then extend actively from your hips up through your crown. Reach your arms overhead. Relax your shoulders. Lift your chin just slightly, coming into a gentle back bend. Lift your heart, but knit your front ribs. With your next exhalation, draw your palms down the midline and fold at your hips. Come forward into Uttanasana again. Inhale, come halfway up. Lift and lengthen as if you're reaching for the sun. Exhale, fold. Bring your hands to your hips and inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Exhale your palms down the midline. Another half sun salutation. Inhale your arms overhead. Exhale your palms down the midline. Fold at your hips and touch down to the earth. Inhale, lift and lengthen forward. Exhale, fold. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, rise up to standing. Reach up for the sky. Exhale your palms down midline. Stand Tadasana. Come to the front of your mat if you're not already there, and we'll do a full sun salutation. Exhale, release your hands to your sides. Inhale your arms overhead. Exhale, fold at your hips, touch down. Inhale, halfway up, lengthen your spine. Exhale, step your left foot back. Inhale your right foot back to plank pose. Pause in plank. Gather the strength of muscular energy so that you can extend back out now from the core of your pelvis. Root down through your feet. Lengthen forward through the crown of your head and push down through your arms. Keep that strong and engaged as you lower yourself slowly to the ground. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, Dandasana. Inhale up to baby cobra. Exhale down to the earth. Pause for a moment here in pranam. Rest your forehead on your stacked hands, or even bring your arms out in front of you. And take a few breaths, just softening, returning to the soil, returning to the comfort of the earth. Bring your hands next to your chest and inhale, push yourself up through all fours or plank pose. Exhale back to downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. Settling into the firmness of your foundation. Again, imagining roots setting into the earth. And from that stability, you can rise up a little higher through your sit bones. Lengthen your spine a little bit more as you push down into the ground. Lift your hips. Lift your side ribs. Relax your neck. Inhale, look forward. And as you exhale, step your left foot forward. Then inhale your right foot forward. And exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Extend up actively, especially through your thumbs toward the sky. Lengthen your tailbone toward the ground to continue to root into the earth as you rise up through your back body. Then exhale, release your hands back down your midline and to your sides. Inhale, reach up for the sky again. Exhale, draw your palms down the midline, bend your knees. Come into chair pose, Uttanasana. Reach up with your arms with your next inhalation. Draw your side ribs back, draw your navel in. Lengthen your tailbone down toward the ground. One more breath. And then exhale, fold back down, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift your spine halfway. Exhale, step your right foot back. Then your left foot back to plank pose. Inhale here, gather strength. And as you exhale, draw the earth up toward you as you lower, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale to baby cobra or higher cobra if you'd like, or even upward facing dog if you'd like. And exhale, push straight back to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Take a full breath here. With your next inhalation, lift your right leg up toward the sky. Exhale, draw your right knee in toward your chest, and then take one big step through or assist your foot through with your hand into a high lunge. Bring your left hand out to the side of your mat, even off of your mat, and your right hand to your knee. Settle into your foundation and expand. Inner body bright, outer body soft. Open to grace, open to nature. Then muscular energy, hug skin to muscle to bone. Lift the top of your left thigh up. Wrap your right thigh underneath you. And then exhale and extend actively down into your feet as if you were trying to split your mat. And out through your spine, through the crown of your head, begin to twist. Root through your left hand. Rise up through your right arm if you'd like, or you can keep your hand on your knee. Exhale all the way back down to the ground. Push back to downward facing dog, and you can stay here or take puppy pose or come through another vinyasa, chaturanga, upward facing dog or cobra, back to down dog. Take a full breath. And with your next inhalation, bring your left leg high. Exhale, draw your knee in toward your chest, and then again, step or assist your foot through. Bring your right hand to the outer edge of your mat or even off of your mat. Left hand to your knee. Inhale, gather strength. Exhale, extend back out as if you were trying to split your mat. Push your left foot forward, right foot back. And then reach through your spine, open across your chest. Broaden your collarbones, and then reach up. Actively extend down from your right shoulder into the ground and out through your left arm and fingertips. Lift the top of your right thigh up. Good, and then exhale all the way down. Step back, downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths here. Returning to the settling feeling of open to grace, the softening, the connection to the earth, the support of the ground. With your next exhalation, look forward and then hop or step your feet forward to the front of your mat. Inhale halfway up, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Bring your hands to your hips and inhale. Rise up to standing, reach up for the sky. Exhale your palms down the midline, come back to Utkatasana, chair pose. Reach your sit bones back. Lift your navel up. Open your heart and reach your arms up. Exhale, draw your palms down the midline and fold forward again. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, step, or if you'd like to hop back to plank pose, feel free. Inhale and plank. Exhale, lower knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a full breath. With your next inhalation, lift your right leg up toward the sky. And as you exhale, draw your knee in toward your chest and step or assist your foot forward. Come into what my teacher calls dancing warrior. It's really flowing. So even if your breath isn't perfectly in sync with your movement, think of flowing as much as you can with your breath. Lower your back heel to the ground. Gather in toward your midline, and as you inhale, lift up to warrior one. Exhale, open up to warrior two. Gaze over your right fingertips. Stabilize your right knee over your ankle. Inhale, come into reverse warrior. Left hand to left thigh, right arm overhead. Exhale back, warrior two. Inhale, Parshva Konasana, side angle pose. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, now lift your back heel, come onto the ball of your left foot, and gather toward midline as you turn toward the front of your mat again. Bend your left knee and slowly lower to the ground as you exhale. As you inhale, reach up to Anusara-inspired. Draw your side ribs back. Push into the ground and reach up through your arms. Exhale your palms down midline, touch down. Push back to downward facing dog. Stay here or take puppy pose or come through a vinyasa, chaturanga, to cobra or up dog, to downward facing dog. Take a breath. Soften, open to grace. With your next inhalation, lift your left leg high. And exhale, bend your knee and step your foot through. Lower your back heel to the ground. Hug to midline. Gather strength as you rise up to warrior one. Exhale, open to warrior two. Gaze over left fingertips. Inhale, right hand to right thigh, left arm overhead, reverse warrior. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, Parshvakonasana, side angle pose. Push into your elbow and reach through your right arm. Push into the four corners of both feet. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, hug to midline as you lift your back heel. Turn toward the front of your mat and gather your hands in front of your heart. Lower slowly. Take your time. Feel free to use your hands or blocks if you need to get down to the ground. Inhale, lift your arms up and overhead, Anusara-inspired. Draw your navel back. Lift your heart. Press down into your feet and rise up through your hands. Exhale, palms down midline. Place your hands and step back, downward facing dog. I'm going to stay in downward facing dog. If you'd like to take a vinyasa, feel free. Take a few breaths here. You can take puppy pose or child's pose as well. Feel the effects of the movement, the flowing, your heart beating, your breath rate increasing. And even in a few breaths here, find the ability to settle back to a slower heart rate, slower breath, all through the support of the earth, the strength of your foundation. With your next inhalation, look forward. And as you exhale, step or hop forward to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway up, lift your spine forward, draw your heart forward. Exhale, fold. Bring your hands to your hips and inhale all the way up to standing. Reach for the sky. Exhale your palms down midline and stand. Bring your hands to your heart and take a moment to, again, feel the effects of the flowing, of the movement. Let everything settle for a moment before we begin moving again. Bring your hands to your hips and step your feet wide. Not as wide as you would for a warrior two, about halfway there. And turn your feet out at an angle. Bend your knees, come into goddess pose. Knees right over your ankles, pointed toward your second and third toes. Lengthen your tailbone and lift your low belly. And then extend straight up through your spine. So you're really upright in your upper body. And you can always take a shorter stance or come up a little bit if this is too much. Or you can always come deeper as well if you'd like a stronger version of the pose. They're all very strong versions of the pose. Inhale your arms out to the sides. And as you exhale, bring your right elbow to your right knee, your left arm overhead. Inhale, open up again. Exhale, left elbow to left knee, right arm over ear. Inhale to center. Exhale. So move with your own breath at your own pace. Again, imagining like you're moving through water. Just a little bit of resistance, but a lot of fluidity and grace. You can also straighten your legs in between to give them a little break. Just a couple more times. The next time you come over to your left, inhale back to center. Push from your hips down into your feet as you straighten your legs. Lift through your crown. Reach through your arms. Turn your feet parallel now. And extend into star pose. Turn your palms up toward the ceiling. Root down through your feet from the core of your pelvis. Anchor 4 corners of both feet. And from the core of your pelvis, reach up through your crown and out through your arms. Take up lots of space. Imagine yourself like your favorite flower, extending in all directions, extending brightly up toward the sun, but still rooted in your foundation. Beautiful. Bring your hands to your hips and bring your palms back together in front of your heart. Take your feet a little bit wider. Bend your right knee and come into Skandasana variation. And then switch other side. So you can flow, inhale one side, exhale the other. Or if you'd like, you can take a pause here. Inhale, back to center, exhale to the right. Inhale to the center, exhale to the right. Left. So you can bring your palms together, stay here in front of your heart. You could also flow with your arms. You can be as high or low as you like. You could bring your hand to your knee for a little more support. You could even come down all the way toward the ground with your pelvis and lift your foot, your extended legs foot. Move with your own breath at your own pace, just a couple more times. Each time you rise up, really push into your foot so that you're having this action of root to rise. Come back to center and then fold forward. Turn your feet parallel first. Fold into Prasarita Padottanasana. Let your head hang and relax your neck completely. Bring your hands back between your feet, fingertips pointed toward your face or toward the front of your mat. And then lift your right sit bone and then your left. Kind of like you're doing windshield wipers with your sit bones. Back and forth, moving your pelvis from side to side. Your knees can be slightly bent or straight. And come to center. Bring your hands to your hips and inhale up to standing. Heel toe your feet together. And pause. Tadasana. Open to the presence of this moment. By noticing your breath. By feeling your feet on your foundation. And step your feet wide again. Turn your right foot out, left foot parallel to the back edge of your mat. Bend your right knee over your ankle. Bring your right hand to your thigh. And pause for a moment to settle into your foundation, inner body bright, outer body soft, open to grace. I like to even imagine sun on me in these open to grace moments. And firm your legs with muscular energy. Take the top of your left thigh back, and then from your right waistline, draw your right hip flesh down. Press your right knee toward that back edge of your mat. Then from your pelvis, root down through your feet, rise up through your spine, lift your arms overhead, and then open your arms out to the side for warrior two. Gaze over your right fingertips. Take a breath here. And with your next exhalation, bring left hand to left thigh, right arm overhead, and extend in reverse warrior. Reach up toward the sky as if you were reaching toward the sun with your flower face. And bring a smile to your face. Then come back to warrior two and inhale up. Straighten your right knee. Bring your hands to your hips and switch sides. Left foot out, right foot in. Exhale your knee over your ankle. Bring your hand to your thigh and take a moment to soften. Imagine the soil beneath your feet and feel the fullness of your breath. Get strong in your legs now. Take the top of your right thigh back. Keep it there as you draw your left hip flesh down underneath you. Now extend down actively through your legs and rise up actively through your arms. Then open out to the side. Gaze over left fingertips and take warrior two. Continue to root down through your feet as you rise up through your upper body, through your arms. Exhale your right hand to the outer right thigh and left arm over your head. Extend long into reverse warrior. Keep your knees stable over your ankle. Inhale back to center, and then come back up as you push into your left foot and straighten your left leg. Turn your feet parallel, and then heel toe or even hop your feet together. So a couple more standing poses. First we'll come into warrior three, or variation of warrior three. So come to the front of your mat. I'm actually gonna come here. Bring your hands to your hips and step your left foot back behind you just about a foot. Keep your weight on your right foot steady. Settle into the four corners of your feet. Firm your legs. Wrap your legs with muscular energy so it's becoming like the trunk of a tree, really steady. And then bend your right knee a little bit and lift your left leg, even just a little bit. If you'd like to, you could bring it further back, come all the way into warrior three, or you can stay right here. Find the version that is most stable and expansive for you, because if you're unsteady, you will no longer be expanding. Wherever you are, bring your arms out to the sides now, palms toward the floor. And as you inhale, bring your arms forward in line with your ears, extend. As you exhale, turn your palms back and bring your arms back to your sides. And keep your right knee bent slightly or straighten it, whatever feels more stable for you. Move with your breath, inhale forward, exhale back 3 times. You can imagine yourself like a bird flying overhead, really free, or even like you're swimming. After your third round, bring your hands back to your hips and inhale back up to standing. Pause into Tadasana. Feel the difference from side to side. You might feel warmth or movement of energy more on your right side. Bring your hands back to your hips and switch sides. Come over onto your left foot. Bring your right leg back behind you just about a foot. Coming into this a little differently than you might normally on purpose. So you can stay right here. You can bend your left knee a little and possibly lift your right leg up off the floor. Or you might come all the way forward into warrior three with left knee, again, slightly bent or straight, whichever feels more stable in your body, especially with some movement. So find the stable version of the pose. Turn your palms toward the floor. And then with your next inhalation, keep steady in your core as you bring your arms overhead, palms toward one another. As you exhale, turn your palms back. You might even feel yourself rocking slowly and gently front to back. And again, imagine yourself either flying or swimming, whichever is more exciting to you right now. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale all the way up to standing. And stand Tadasana. And just notice for a moment. Probably feel steady and firm in your outer hips. It's nice and stabilizing. From that stability, lift up through your heart Bring your arms overhead. Reach up through your heart. Lengthen down through your tailbone. Come into a gentle back bend here. You can bring your hands behind the base of your skull if that feels more supportive. Knit your front ribs and draw your navel back toward your spine. Lift your heart a little bit more. Reach your elbows or fingertips up toward the sky. Inhale back up to center. Exhale. One more standing pose. So this one is kind of like warrior one. It's called tribal warrior. Bring your right leg forward and your left leg back again, not quite as wide of a stance as you normally would for warrior one. Bend your right knee so that it's right over your ankle, not in a deep bend. It's a gentle bend. Bend your left knee and turn your left foot in, the ball of your foot in a little, your heel out a little. So it's almost like in Anusara yoga we say inner spiral or expanding spiral. Your entire leg is kind of rotating in. And then come upright. Bring your hands to your hips. You can keep your hands right here, or you can bring your arms forward, or you could even bring your arms up. But what we're looking for is this really strong feeling of earth and steadiness, rootedness. Rock back and forth, bringing your weight from your front foot to your back foot. Imagine again the soil beneath you, like you're really stamping your foot into the soil, creating a strong impression on the earth. Come back to center. Bring your hands to your hips, and then just turn around to switch sides. Place your left foot, come onto the ball of your right foot. Internally rotate your right leg just a little so that your right ankle is turned out maybe an inch or so from the ball of your foot. Bring your hands to your hips. Steady yourself here for a moment. Soften, inner body bright, outer body soft. Then you can keep your hands here, or you can bring your arms out in front of you, like first position, or you can bring your arms overhead. And then slowly rock front to back, transferring your weight from your front foot to your back foot. Remain really steady in your upper body. Just your legs moving. Place your hands on your hips and turn toward the front and come down onto your belly. Made it back to the ground. Place your hands next to your chest. Rest your forehead for a moment. Lift your right leg and reach it back. Then lift your left leg and reach it back. Tone your low belly by lengthening your tailbone down toward your heels. Hug your legs to midline. And then from your pelvis, push down into the ground and reach up through your chest and lift your head. Come up to baby cobra. And exhale down. Inhale, come up, slow and steady. Exhale down. You might want to come a little higher each time, you might not. It's up to you and your body. What feels most expansive in your body right now. Move with your breath, one way or another. Each time you lift up, imagine you're unfurling the flower at the center of your chest. Lift it up a little bit more toward the sun. The next time you come up, pause here, push into your grounds, again, set your roots, and then draw your heart forward by pulling your hands back isometrically. Lift up through the crown of your head. Take one more breath here. Steady in your pelvis, rooted to the ground, lifting in your heart. And exhale all the way down. Rest on your hands or on one cheek. Take a few breaths. Return to the soil, the comfort and stability of the earth supporting you. Feel the flow of your breath and the flow of your heartbeat. Just like the flow of nature. Steady and rhythmic. Come up onto your elbows in Sphinx pose. Forearms parallel. Anchor as much as you can through your wrists, right below your hands, through your fingers and the palms of your hands. You can keep your toes pointed or you can turn them under if that feels a little more stable. And with your next exhalation, look toward your heart, lift between your shoulder blades, protract, and then lift your back ribs and navel, and then finally lift your pelvis. Now you're on your knees. As you inhale, unroll the other way, lower your hips. Draw your heart forward, and then finally lift your head. So these Sphinx roll-ups you can do just like we just did in this low plank, or you can even lift your knees up off of the ground and come into forearm plank. Wherever you are, let your movement be slow, rhythmic, steady, just like the flow of water, the movement of waves. Again, on a not so windy day, just a breeze. The next time you come up into plank, forearm plank, with your knees down or lifted, begin to unfurl your spine by lengthening your heart forward, lengthen the crown of your head forward, lengthen your tailbone and heels down, or back rather. And then slowly lower all the way back down. And pause again. If you laid on one cheek, lie on the other next time. Or you can lie on your stacked hands. Turn onto your back now. Roll over. Place your feet under your knees and parallel. Bring your hands next to your sides. Settle first, soften. Feel your breath and feel the earth beneath you. And from the support and stability of the earth, now push down into your feet. Push down into your arms and your palms down into the ground, and lift your hips. Bring your arms up and overhead. With your next exhalation, bring your hips down and your arms down simultaneously. Again, flowing with your breath. Inhale as you lift. Lead with your pelvis. Keep your belly relaxed. Bring your arms overhead. Gently press into the base of the skull and keep your gaze up as you flow here. With each inhalation, imagine a shoot lifting up toward the sky, a flower unfurling. Each exhalation settling back into the steadiness of your roots. Expand a little more, take up a little more space with each inhalation. Maybe even lift your hips a little higher. And then with your next exhalation, keep your hips lifted, but bring your hands down. If you'd like, you can interlace your fingers underneath your hips, or you can keep your palms pushing down into the ground. Don't look to the side like I just did. And then lift your hips a little higher. Lift your heart toward your chin, not your chin toward your heart. Keep the base of your skull gently pressing down into the ground. Extend now from your upper palate down to the back of your skull into the ground, like you could set roots. And then from your upper palate, extend all the way forward through your knees, as if you could reach your knees toward the front of the room, but keep them settled over your heels. One more breath. You can, if you'd like, if you have a block nearby now, I didn't tell you to have a block, so if you don't, no worries. If you do, you could put one under your hips, right under your sacrum like so, or you can stay lifted and play with lifting one leg, push down actively through your left foot, or whatever foot is down, and reach up as if you were, again, reaching for the sky like a flower would on a sunny day. And then switch sides. If you're on a block, same action happening here. Root down through your bottom foot, rise up through your left, or your opposite, your up leg. Reach really actively, and then lower. If you have a block, move it aside. Lower your hips to the ground, and hug your knees into your chest. Rock. Like a little seed, returning to your center, returning to the steadiness of the earth, support of the ground. Roll over onto your right and come up to sitting. It's the last strong pose before we move toward the ground and eventually toward Shavasana. So I'll turn this way actually for now. So this is a new way of getting to a pose that you are maybe familiar with, wild thing. New way for me at least, maybe not for you. Left leg straight out in front of you and right knee bent deeply. You can rest your right arm on your right leg and bring your left arm back behind you, a little behind your shoulder. So just kind of like you're lounging for now. Then turn your left leg, the entire leg rotates from your hip so that the outer edge of your foot is toward the ground. Push down into the outer edge of your foot, the outer edge of your leg if you can. Stay settled and strong in your left leg. And then lift, actually there's two options here. You can bring your right arm up and overhead and just follow it. Stay right here and exhale, lower. This is a really great version of the pose. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Or you can come into wild thing. As you inhale, follow your hand with your head, lift your hip, push into your right foot, push into the outer edge of your left foot. Exhale down. 2 more times like that. Inhale, push into your feet wherever you are, lift your arm up and overhead, reach your hips or your arm, depending on which variation you're in. 1 more. And all the way down to the ground. And then switch sides. I'll turn around, but you don't need to. Right leg out, left knee bent, left elbow on left knee. Come on to your right hand. As much as you can, put weight in the bridge of your hand too, right below your fingers and your fingers instead of in the heel of your hand. And then externally rotate your right leg. Turn your right knee and toes to the right. Push into the outer edge of your foot. Push into your left foot. Bring your arm out. And as you inhale, again, you can follow your hand and lift up into this variation, which is a great back bend right here. Or you can follow your hand and lift your hips and push into a variation of wild thing. A couple more times with your breath, exhaling down, inhaling up. Push really actively into your feet for the rooting action so that you can rise with more freedom and space in your upper body. The next time you lower, settle back to the ground. Bend both knees. Wrap your arms around your knees and relax your head down. Relax your neck. Just soften for a moment. The energy of spring can be really strong. A lot of movement, a lot of expansion, a lot of lifting. Just like the night is a time of rest for everything that's growing. We can take times of rest in our practice. You settle your breath, settle your heart, and relax your body. Roll onto your back now. Bend your left knee, place your foot on the ground, bend your right knee and extend your right leg up. Stay like this for just a moment without your hands and press your heel up toward the ceiling. Draw your toes back toward you. Place your hands behind your thigh now. Press your thigh into your hands. Then exhale, bend your knee. Inhale, lift your heel up, especially toward the sky, toes dorsiflexing. Bend and extend. A couple more times. Next time now, plantar flex your foot, point your toes. Keep your toes pointed. Bend your knee, exhale. Inhale, extend. Feel the difference. Probably shifts the experience of the stretch a little bit. The next time you come up toward the sky, externally rotate your right leg and bend your right knee. Bring your right ankle on top of your left knee. Again, without your hands first, lift your left leg up off of the ground. Draw your left knee toward you and hug your legs toward midline. Keep that, and then interlace your fingers behind your left thigh. Keep drawing your left leg toward you and gently pressing right knee away from you. Keep your right foot flexed. Take another breath. And exhale, release. Gently uncross your leg and switch sides. Right foot to the floor, left leg up. First without your hands, flex, dorsiflex, lift your heel up toward the ceiling and your toes back toward you. Then when you're ready, interlace your fingers behind your thigh. As you exhale, bend your knee. As you inhale, straighten your leg. A couple more times. And then point your toes, plantar flex your foot, and come into extension and flexion of your knee a couple of times. Then externally rotate your left leg, bend your left knee, and place your left ankle on top of your right thigh. Without your hands first, hug your legs toward midline. Draw your right knee up toward you from the strength of your core, as if you could draw your right knee all the way to you, but resist with your left leg. Then interlace your fingers behind your right thigh. Press your right thigh into your hands, even as you draw your right knee toward you, and press your left knee away from you gently. And then slowly release. Place your right foot and then your left foot. Bring your knees over to the right and then over to the left in your own time. If you'd like to hold there for a moment, feel free. Come into whatever variation of windshield wiper you'd like. Slow, fast, arms overhead, arms in a T, or even on your torso. Find a comfortable position for your body. And listen to what your body needs right now. If one side wants you to stay there for a little bit, stay there. It's okay if it's uneven. And inhale your knees back up to center. And take happy baby. Bring the soles of your feet up toward the ceiling. Bend your knees toward your outer ribs and take your hands either to your shins or your feet. And then rock a little, side to side. Come to center. Release your legs to the ground. Bring them at least hip distance or even a little wider for Shavasana, and bring your arms out to the side as far away from your body as it feels comfortable today, so that you have more space than you might normally in Shavasana. Really take up some space and find a little distance between your legs, between your torso and your arms. Notice how that feels. Relax the muscles in your face. Soften. Soften your jaw. Release the muscles around your eyes and your cheeks. Your forehead. Release through your shoulders and arms, the muscles in your core and your hips. And then down the lengths of your legs, relax, soften completely. Let yourself sink down toward the earth, enjoying the force of gravity and the way the earth meets you and holds you. Let your breath be soft and natural. Imagine that you are breathing with the earth. Even visualize running water near you, flowers around you, sun shining on you, clouds floating by in the sky above you. But let yourself become so absorbed with whatever scene you have in your mind that you no longer feel the boundaries of your body. Feel yourself merge with that scene. Invite your awareness back into your body slowly as you deepen your breath. Begin to stretch, taking your time, first through fingers and toes, ankles, wrists, finally arms and legs. When you're ready, bend your knees, roll over onto your right side. And gently push yourself up to sitting, with your eyes closed or your gaze soft, palms together in front of your heart. Keep your thumbs and your your thumbs and your pinky fingers together, but draw your index, middle, and ring fingers away from one another. So you're in, it's called the lotus mudra, right at your heart. Imagine your heart unfolding like a lotus toward the brightness of the sun. Take a moment in gratitude for yourself, for your body, for the beauty of nature and the lessons that so generously offers us. And offer the fruits of your practice back outward. Namaste.